Alright, 2024 is over, and I had a lot of fun last year making a video where I gave one-sentence movie reviews for everything I watched in 2023, so I figured why not just do it again. So here's my one-sentence thoughts on everything I watched in 2024, and follow me on Letterboxd at Josh D. Floyd for more of my up-to-date movie thoughts. Raging Bull is one of my favorites from both Scorsese and De Niro. Society of Snow, I hate to admit it, but I would have turned to cannibalism way faster than these guys. Anatomy of a Fall, Sandra Huller gives one of my favorite acting performances I've seen in years, but also when are they going to talk about the owl theory? Strange Days, has anyone ever looked cooler than Ralph Fiennes and Angela Bassett in this movie? Self-Reliance is a solid directorial debut from Jake Johnson and a great supporting turn from my guy Biff Whiff. All of Us Strangers, Andrew Scott is great. I just wish I didn't feel as distant from this film's emotional center as his character is from everyone else around him. American Fiction, Lorraine Ann Maynard are the real MVPs. The Lobster is still my favorite Yorgos Lanthimos film. The Beekeeper is Jason Statham's magnum opus. Argyle, I guess the real Agent Argyle was the terrible movie we watched together along the way. Fargo, do I love this movie? You betcha. The After is one of the most cloying, obvious, and unhinged messes I've ever seen, and the fact that it was nominated for the Oscar almost completely tanked my respect for the Academy. Night of Fortune is dark and sweet and moving. The Wonderful Story of Henry Sugar, The Family of Roald Dahl shouldn't let anyone else other than Wes Anderson touch his books ever again. The Zone of Interest is a powerful and sobering look at the ways we compartmentalize and ignore the horrors right outside our door. Free Palestine. 95 Cents is What If Across the Spider-Verse, but instead of Spider-Man, it's a demented old guy. The Teacher's Lounge is a satire that plays things so straight it doesn't really let the audience in on the joke until the very final shot, which is incredible. The Barber of Little Rock, I love what Arlo is doing for his community, but I wish the documentary had a little more to say than look how inspirational this guy is. Island in Between is light meandering and feels more egotistical than personal. The ABCs of book banning. The kids are great, which is good because they carry the weight of the entire film on their back. 99 Waypo, I would die for 99 Waypo. Scratch that. I would kill for 99 Waypo. The Last Repair Shop is a genuine triumph about the power of music, told via the stories of the overlooked heroes that make sure every kid in LA has access to a working musical instrument. Drive Away Dolls, how can we parent trap the Coen brothers to get them back together again? The Holdovers is a new Christmas classic. 20 Days in Mariupol is less a movie and more of a collection of footage that is both horrifying and essential viewing. Perfect Days, it takes a master filmmaker and leading performance to make a film about cleaning toilets be so beautiful and captivating. Dune Part 2, I don't like sand, it's coarse and rough and irritating and it gets everywhere. The Following is not a home run of a debut from Nolan, but a fun calling card for the tricks he goes on to master later in his career. Insomnia, she's got a great cast! Ricky Stenicki, with full sincerity, I am genuinely impressed that this middling gross-out comedy casts several of its supporting roles with actors with disabilities and never once calls attention to it. Wicked Little Letters, despite what the title might lead you to believe, it's not set in Boston. David Lynch's Dune I wouldn't call good, but it does have Agent Dale Cooper and Big Ed Hurley ride a sandworm together in high five, so there's that. Love Lies Bleeding has great vibes, but the script could have used a little more time in the gym, or at least a couple more doses of steroids. The Roadhouse 2024 remake, I didn't think it was possible for Conor McGregor to do something worse than his performance in this movie, and then, yeesh. The Nice Guys, I think I've rewatched this movie more times than any other movie released in the past decade. It's a masterpiece and stuff. Roadhouse 1989, has anyone ever looked cooler than Sam Elliott in this movie? A Nightmare on Elm Street, whenever they inevitably reboot this franchise again, I hope they lean into the more dreamy qualities of the Freddy Krueger character, instead of just making him a burned up guy with knife fingers. Late Night with the Devil would have been a great 1 hour special. Repo Man, a lot of films try, but this one actually succeeds at being punk rock. Monkey Man, Dev Patel might not have made a new action classic, but he did prove he has potential to be a new great action star. Challengers is almost a total grand slam. Civil War is a thrilling movie that left me genuinely confounded on what writer and director Alex Garland feels about the merits of war journalists. La Camera is an absolutely gorgeous movie that explores how digging up the past can leave you trapped in a tomb of your own grief, but also help you better appreciate the light at the end of the tunnel. The Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare is a movie made in a lab designed to become your dad's new favorite movie. Abigail makes a strong case for every movie having a ballerina vampire in it. I just wish the first half of the movie understood that. The Black Hawk may be down, but my 2 thumbs are up. We Grown Now is a solid indie film that unfortunately feels the need to literally have its character scream its central message. Hot Rod, I genuinely believe, is one of the funniest movies ever made. The Fall Guy, Ryan Gosling has gotten so good at playing variations of Holland March that he can literally do it with his hands tied behind his back. The Idea of You, Anne Hathaway carries that movie on her Ozempic riddled back. Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, how hyped do you think the writers got when they came up with the idea of the mute human character's first words being no? I saw the TV glow. I really wish I liked this one more overall because it's got some pieces that are really compelling and personal. The last stop in Yuma County, finally a Tarantino and Coen brothers riff that is actually great. Furiosa is an expertly crafted action epic that is just relentlessly awesome. Anyone But You is like a charisma black hole was released on the set that was so powerful that not even Glenn Powell could escape it. Bad Boys Ride or Die. Imagine dying and arriving in the ancestral plane and thinking you're gonna see someone like Michael B. Jordan, but instead it's Joey freaking Pants. The First Omen is a little long, but oh my god does the filmmaking absolutely rip. Hitman, all of that charisma that was missing from Anyone But You was clearly absorbed by Glenn Powell and Adria Arjona in this movie. In a Violent Nature has a kill so brutal it literally left me slack-jawed. Inside Out 2, what if they just remade the first Inside Out but worse? The Bike Riders is a great ensemble of actors who feel like they're cosplaying. Beetlejuice was and remains a favorite from my childhood. Avengers Infinity War is still fun to watch at home, but nothing beats the theater experience of a bunch of kids in the audience crying at the death of Spider-Man. Ghostlight, Letterboxd Mom, or I've never even heard of Romeo and Juliet Dad. Kinds of Kindness is an incredible short, a good short, and an okay short. Boogie Nights never ceases to amaze me that a major studio let a 27-year-old make this, and it turned out to be an iconic classic. Kill, has there ever been a film with a late title drop that doesn't completely own? Maxine, it's like if Scream 3 was as bad as the wrong people say it is. A Quiet Place Day One, it's a thoughtful meditation on death, but I wish it didn't skip the day one promise of its title. Long Legs, Terrence Howard's New Math would have had that Long Legs code cracked so fast. Corey's, some real Twin Peaks vibes, am I right? Twister, Philip Seymour Hoffman is basically playing the Doof Warrior. Twisters, unexpectedly Challengers coded, but I'm not complaining. Beverly Hills Cop Axel F is more like an Axel C+. Is Now a Good Time is maybe one of the greatest troll jobs I've ever seen on film. Kneecap is good music and an important message, but an okay movie. Terrifier, I can't believe he bone tomahawked that one girl. Deadpool and Wolverine, it's nothing but a fan service delivery system, but I am a fan, and I like good service. Terrifier 2 is a big step up in acting and production value from the first film, but there really isn't much going on in these things other than great gore effects, is there? Trap, M. Night was cooking with extra bottles of canola oil on this one, and he wasn't letting pesky things like coherency or logic get in the way of a good time. It ends with us in the most emotional moment of the entire film, the moment that everything has been building toward. Blake Lively races to her high school sweetheart at his restaurant, and he's wearing an all frickin' denim chef outfit. I cackled. Fight Club, we don't talk about this one. Borderlands, this is worse than the time I met the real Agent Argyle. Cuckoo, I'm cuckoo for Dan Stevens' performance. The Instigators, Ving Rhames stands up and walks around in this one, and I didn't think he still had that in him. Alien Romulus could have used less deepfake Ian Holm and a little more double Michael Fassbender's erotically playing the flute together. Avengers Endgame is a genuine miracle of a movie. Dee Dee is a perfect time capsule movie documenting one of the most pivotal years of my teenage life, 2008. Raiders of the Lost Ark is a perfect action adventure. The Killer, I think Natalie Emmanuel might be a bad actress. Blink Twice is a really strong directorial debut from Zoe Kravitz. Strange Darling is one of my favorite movies of the year, but did you know it was shot on 35mm film? Greedy People, oh hey, it's one of those bad Tarantino and Coen brothers riffs. The Front Room, where are the Solange fan edits? Speak No Evil, I'm gonna steal a line the guy sitting next to me in my screening said about halfway through. Nah fam, these people be playing too much. Rebel Ridge, he's on the Wikipedia page is one of my favorite lines of the year. Hard 8 is a great debut from PTA that could have used a little more running time. Beetlejuice, the juice is loose and it's expired. If I started watching this on a plane and then cut it off with like 10 minutes left because I couldn't be bothered. Ocean's 12 is not as good as the first one, but it is an incredible follow-up that doesn't get the credit it deserves for ingeniously subverting expectations and playing with the heist genre. Ocean's 13 is a fun caper, but easily my least favorite in the franchise, if for nothing else than giving Casey Affleck of all people the best storyline. Wolves, more like woofs. Megalopolis, Aubrey Plaza is incredible, and now I know that Natalie Emmanuel is a bad actress. The Wild Robot is a great movie with one too many endings. Oddity is a super fun little horror gem. Joker Folia Do, maybe Folia Don't. It's What's Inside is not a perfect movie, but it is one of my favorite movies of the year for how simple yet ingenious its central premise is. it really makes me just want to make my own movie. The substance: imagine a world where Demi Moore and Margaret Qualley show up at the Oscars in full Monstro Elizabeth prosthetics. Punch Drunk Love is the absolute best use of Adam Sandler's unique acting qualities of his entire career. Inherent Vice has a top-tier ensemble that gets lost in the haze. A Different Man: when did Sebastian Stan somehow become one of the best and most interesting actors of his generation? Saturday Night: if you're waiting for my comeback, you can scrape it off the back of your mother's teeth, goes harder than any line I've heard in a very long time. Phantom Thread is quite possibly one of the most beautiful films in PTA's filmography. Smile 2: imagine the shenanigans that Cooper Trapp could have gotten up to at a Sky Riley concert. The Apprentice: no, seriously, when did Sebastian Stan become one of our best actors? Halloween: name a better horror score, I'll wait. We Live in Time is so overtly emotionally manipulative, and yet Florence Pugh and Andrew Garfield make it work. Woman of the Hour is a solid directorial debut from Anna Kendrick, but a great lead performance from Daniel Zavato. Venom: The Last Dance: ending this movie with a montage of Eddie and Venom set to Maroon 5's Memories is genuinely the funniest thing I saw in a theater all year. Terrifier 3: yeah, these movies aren't for me. Conclave is like anytime my wife and I try to decide what we want to eat for dinner. The Shadow Strays: the Shadow strayed a little too long in this one. Caddo Lake: it's never a coincidence when there are two redheads in the same movie. Honora, Garnick, and Tauros are my spirit animals. Emilia Perez is really bad, and the awards bodies patting themselves on the back for acknowledging trans and Mexican representation should maybe consider doing it for a film that isn't offensive and ugly to look at. A Real Pain is what Jeremy Strong must feel as he's meticulously altering every aspect of his life to fully embody his latest character, while Kieran Culkin just strolls onto set, plays himself, knocks it out of the park, and then potentially becomes the first actor from Succession to win an Oscar. Heretic: the scariest thing about Hugh Grant's Basement is that it leads to a complete nosedive in script quality. Gladiator 2: Hail Dondas. Better Man: a monkey wrote a song and its lyrics aren't just give orange me one orange, give orange me orange, eat orange, give me you. I'm Still Here: the world needs more people like Eunice Paiva. Wicked Part 1 I liked way more than I thought I would, and Peter Dinklage might be playing a goat, but he's still got that dog in him. River: I hope Yunta Yamaguchi continues making these little 2-minute infinite time loop movies on increasingly larger scales. The Elephant Man: the least Lynchian of all of David Lynch's work, and yet still feels like something that only he could make. Juror number 2: I was a little confused because I never saw Juror number 1. The Beast is kind of like if Cloud Atlas had a French dandy play an American incel, instead of Tom Hanks playing an Asian man. Sing Sing is a beautiful movie about the transformative and life-changing power of the written language. Will and Harper is a valiant effort with some great chemistry between the central duo, but I found most of the interactions between the strangers they meet during their road trip to fall a little flat. A Complete Unknown is a complete knockout. Night Bitch: don't worry if the movie's themes on the hardships and body horror of motherhood aren't obvious enough for you. Amy Adams will not only constantly monologue to herself, but also supply unnecessary voiceover narration to make sure you really understood what's clearly being portrayed on screen. Why 2K? Because 2K. The Order has some thrilling bank robbery sequences amidst a sea of underdeveloped and uninteresting crime genre elements. Interstellar in IMAX is a transcendent experience. Femme is a really solid and thought-provoking drama, but I'm still wrestling with how much it tries to humanize its antagonist. The End is an indie musical drama that subtly and thoughtfully explores its themes, features beautifully moving songs, and is actually shot in a way that's not only visually appealing, but genuinely gorgeous. Emilia Perez could never. Carry On: nothing to see here. Queer: men literally will do anything but go to therapy. Good Will Hunting: I like those apples. And finally, Nosferatu: Goodfellow, why did you do that is a line said once in this movie, but could have easily been said about 20 times more. Alright, so those are my thoughts on every single movie I saw in 2024. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Follow me on Letterboxd at Josh D. Floyd for more of my up-to-date movie thoughts, and subscribe to this channel for more content like this. Thanks for watching. Bye.